Hello there, it's Carrie Rhodes here. Welcome back to the Heffy Doodle YouTube channel. Today I am playing with some of the newest things from the current release and making a slimline slider pop-up house card, and it will feature a gift card inside. I am using this brand new slimline pop-up die set. There's two pieces in this set. You can see I use the larger one to cut the panel on the left, and this one you line up with the top of your paper to die cut the other panel that will go on the inside of this card. I used some tumbled glass distress oxide ink to create a cloudy sky on my top panel. I'm also going to splatter on some shimmer on this panel. I just love shimmer on really all my cards, but especially on a sky background. I'll set that aside to dry, and I will bring out the Home Sweet Home stamp set and stamp the larger house in this set. And then I'm going to use another stamp set, this birthday set, and stamp the cluster of balloons. And you can see how they magically go together and remind me of a certain Disney Pixar movie. So I'm going to color this house nice and bright. I'm starting with G14. I'm doing barely any ink blending for today's card. You can see I'm just using the same color to darken up a certain area of my image, and that really gives it that touch of dimension that I love from Copic coloring. But you could go a little bit more in depth. Now here I used my E23 marker and my E13 marker to give a little bit of texture to the roof, like the look of shingles. And then for this one, I use my BG02, again, using the same color to add in my shadows. But for the second part of the roof, I did do some ink blending with the same two E markers I used on the lower part of the roof. And just adding in those bright colors, so this reminds me of one of my favorite Disney movies. I love this show. And there happens to be a replica of this house in Utah, and I have seen it. It's near where one of my dearest friends lives, and so we've gone by and seen it, and there are actually people living there, so you do have to really respect their space, but it is fun to get a picture in front of this house. And the balloons I am coloring out to kind of match the house for a cohesive feel on my card, and you can see each of the markers up on the screen as I'm coloring. I did have two shades of the pink. The one pink just seemed like really light, so I did bring in my RV13 for that. So, and then I will add some white highlights to the images to really help them to pop. No pun intended with the balloons. And then once those are colored and ready to go, I'll bring out the coordinating dies and die cut these out using my mini die cut machine from Heffy Doodle, because it's the cutest thing in the land and it works so good. It's so sturdy. It cuts really well. I have it on my desk all the time because it's small enough that I can. I want to use this new Congratulations Shadow Heffy Cut die set, but I wanted one of the layers to really match my sky, and I didn't have like the perfect color of blue cardstock, so I just ink blended a portion of this scrap, and then I can use one side to cut the white outline and the blue side to cut the actual words. So we'll die cut that out, and then I can layer the two together, and I know that my word congratulations is actually going to match my background perfectly because I ink blended it. So you can see this comes out of the cardstock very easily. And because it's such an intricate die, I'm going to take my Glue-Bert and squeeze a little onto, this is like a piece of that paper that's left over when you use up all your foam squares, and I like to use it for such things as this. So now I can add this to my word bubble and stick it down. It worked great. I'm gluing the balloons to the chimney of my house. You could glue it right to the top, but you know, if we're being authentic, they were coming out of the chimney. So I added a second die cut to the back of this because part of it's going to show when you do that pop-up mechanism, so that's going to hide the Copic coloring and it's going to make it sturdier. So I glued those together, and then I'm taking some strips of window sheet or acetate, adding glue dots to the back, and they are going to be the thing that holds up my congratulations sentiment. So I'm using glue dots again to stick that to my image, and then I'll use them to stick to my word as well. So I needed two because it's such a long word versus just having one like right in the middle. So here are the glue dots that are going to hold on that word congratulations. And I'm just going to use my card panel as kind of a guide so that I can have the word be straight and the house is just going to be a little bit askew. Now I'm going to sandwich those window strips between the sentiment and a die cut cloud, like an extra one for the back. And since I did that, I was like, well, I might as well sandwich more die cuts on the back of the house and the balloons as well, just to really hold those window sheet strips in place and make it a much sturdier element. And I was really pleased with the results, adding those extra die cuts like I did. Now I am adding a sentiment. There's no place like home, which is also from that Home Sweet Home stamp set right there at the bottom. And then a couple of hearts from that set as well. I'm stamping out with some pink ink in and around where I'm going to put this house and balloon and congratulations piece. And then I wanted some coordinating paper for my pull tab, which is from the Slimline pull tab die set. It's going to work with this set too. And I have now an arrow piece I can put at the top so the recipient knows what to do. So I have folded my slider piece on the score lines that the die created for me and attached my backer piece so it's flush with the bottom of that moving piece. Then I have some double-sided tape again all the way around that panel, but I'm gonna have to rip this card apart. When you just use a single layer like adhesive that I used right here, it is harder to move the mechanism up and down. And not only that, I'm planning on putting in a gift card. So you'll see what I'm saying here in just a minute. But I cut the top half of this piece off. I just wanted the arrow, and then I'm going to stick that onto that piece of the panel that's showing at the top. And they both have stitching, so it coordinates. I love that. I'm adding the house on with foam squares and a little bit of glue because I really want this to stick and hold well because it's kind of heavy. So it's hard to get my finger in here and pull that because there's not any dimension. And then I'm going to stick a gift card in there, so there's not any dimension for that. So I decided to go wild and crazy and rogue, and it was super scary. And I ripped that top panel off and I pulled out my 5mm foam tape from Heffy Doodle, and this was the perfect thing for this card. So I'm putting it on the 3 sides, but not at the top, and then I'm going to have that extra room that I need to grab the top of the pull tab and to add a gift card. So this was a lifesaver. I even used the same 3 by 8 inch card base, and it's 3.5, sorry, 3.5 by 8.5, and it was perfect. And my gift card is going to be attached to the inside with some glue dots. Now, once I stuck these on, I kind of tapped that gift card to my pants so that when the recipient goes to pull it off, it might come off a little bit easier. Also, the gift card helps hold up the slider, so it could just lay there and be standing up. So then when you pull this open, the word congratulations is kind of like floating in the air like a little cloud. And I thought the colors for this house with the balloons were just really fun. And I enjoyed making this card a lot. It gives me lots of memories from our trip to Utah and visiting that house with my daughter. So I appreciate you guys stopping by the Heffy Doodle channel and checking out my video. I will see you guys all again very soon. But if you want more inspiration, you can find Heffy Doodle on Facebook and Instagram too, and there's plenty more videos on their channel for you to check out. Thanks for watching. I'll see you again soon. Bye.